Good morning, greetings to everyone. Jah live, Jah live, and it's a good thing that Jah live, because it's Jah live make the world a better place because we have a direction because Jah is the direction, Praise Jah. So, man, why do people think all these religions have something to do with God? It's a funny thing about all these religions that we were living by. And if you know what, if nobody told you religion had something to do with God, you wouldn't know it. The only reason we think that religion has something to do with God is because people tell us that religion has something to do with God. But if we were to judge religion on its own merit and look at it from a perspective of what it's doing, you know, religion do not have a good historical perspective because what religion is like people kill a bunch of people. It's like you kill a bunch of people, and when somebody asks you, man, why are you killing all those people? You go, oh man, God told me to do it. And then they go, oh, God told you to do it? Oh man, yeah, go ahead, kill people, man. I was mad. I was mad, but now that you're telling me that God told you to do it, everything is all right, And that's kind of how religion is. It's like it's like a killing thing, you know what I mean? And the only reason we think it's got something to do with God is because people tell us. But religion is just how people establish themselves in this world, and they have to do a lot of killing to do it because religion don't have no truth to it, so they can come and show you anything to convince you about being religious. So religion is always going to come with a lot of killing and force because it's a lie, you know. If it wasn't a lie, they would have the evidence to show you to back up their premise, but they don't have no evidence. So you know what I mean. That's just one of the things I like to remember about religion. It's like religion don't have no evidence to back it up. Religion is just a belief that you have, and you're going to impose it on people. And if they don't accept it, they're going to be a bad person, and then you're ready to kill them because they can't see what you're seeing. And I tell you what, man, I mean, me personally, I ain't never done nothing to nobody. I ain't never done nothing to nobody that warrant them treating me like shit. I ain't never been no thief. I ain't never been no robber. I ain't never been no murderer. I ain't never been no con man and none of that type of stuff. So when I look at my life, I can see that I'm living a much more righteous life as Rasta than a lot of these religious people. Because these religious people, they don't live on their own accord. They have to run into the Bible to tell them how to live. So they're not living on their own accord. So they're living on a phony level. And so whenever the Bible is not present, they could run behind something and do what they got to do, because they like to operate behind closed doors. Yeah, they like to operate behind closed doors. So it's like it's funny how religion make people act, man. It's like you can't see no righteousness in the religion at all, and the people how they practice it. It's like a man commit a crime, and before he goes to court, he's stopped by the confessional to convince to confess his crime to the priest. He confessed his crime to the priest on his way to court to fight the case. So you're like, oh man, look at this man. He goes before God and asks for forgiveness for the sins that he done, and then he goes to court and fight the case. So you can see how this religion is a kind of way. But anyway, and then they're gonna treat a righteous man like a bad person because he can't get with their religion. And it's a funny thing, man, because the only thing they know is like they're trying to work this religious bullcrap all over the world, and and if they don't get you to believe in it, they can't work the crap on you. So they have a tendency to know to get mad and try to get rid of you. And ain't nothing but wickedness in them religion there. Ain't nothing but wickedness. You know what I'm saying? They just carrying off a fast and a farce, and then they try to implement it with some with some power. You know what I mean? They got this power behind on this big gun behind their religion, and they're going to enforce it on you or kill you. So you don't even know what kind of religion these people got. Their religion is off base, off kilter, no evidence, indoctrination, gunplay, and all this stuff is involved with what's involved with their religion. And African people, we got to get back to our spirituality. You know, that's what we have to do. We have to get back to our spirituality. These religions is not no good for us, man. It's not no good for us at all. And if I tell people, you know, when you're telling people don't want to hear this. You know, the Pope was one of the first people in Europe to have slaves. You know what I'm saying? Now, because I'm talking from a black man perspective. So the Pope was one of the first people. And matter of fact, the Pope is who issued the edict for the rest of Europe to go and to have slaves. You know? Because that's the way they see they're going to build up their part of the world, is on the backs of African people and on the backs of Africa. And they got so used to it that if you don't go along with it, they're going to kill you. So it came down to such a greedy thing against black folks. It's like we are put in a trap, and everybody and the vampire is going to suck Africa dry, and he's going to suck the people dry. And if they don't go for it, he's going to kill them. So we in a very precarious position when we're trying to stand up for our own selves as black people. It's a funny thing that it's like they do not want us to stand up on our own 2 feet as black people, and they knock down everything that we try to do. They knock down everything that we try to do because they do not want us to stand up on our own 2 feet. They want to keep us under their wings so that they can keep sucking us and doing what they want to us. And we just go along with it. We just go along with it. You know, I don't know what's wrong with us. You know, it's like, you know what homeboy call it? You know, well, he says that black folks, we're suffering from post-traumatic slavery disorder. You know, it's like we done fell in love with, and the Stockholm syndrome. It's like we done fell in love with our exploiters and conquerors, and we love everything about them and everything they do. And the funny thing is, we're trying to fit into all this European crap that they made for us, and it's hurting us, man. It's hurting us big time. And you know, it's just a simple thing like I went by the damn barbershop Saturday morning. You know, last Saturday, well, the kids are getting ready for school, so the mama have them in the barbershop trying to get their hair cut for school and trying to get them all Europeanized for these European schools. And the black kids in there, man, every time they get up in that bomber-clad barber chair, all of them crying, and they're crying because, you know, black people here is not made for scissors and comb. European people invented scissors and comb for their hair. You know? So black people here is not, you know, the black people didn't invent scissors and comb. The European people invented scissors and comb because it's a perfect fit for their hair. It's not a perfect fit for our hair as African people. If I take all these European devices and try to fit it into our black community, and it's hurting us, you know what I mean? That's just a perfect example here. The youth them in the barbershop chair, them combing their hair with these European combs, and the kids them crying their ass off because their nappy hair can't take this motherfucking comb. I mean, pardon my language, but wow, their nappy hair cannot take the comb. So they're in there crying and crying, and we're forcing ourselves. We do that on every level. We force ourselves to fit into a European DNA that's not an African DNA, and it hurts us, but we have to go along with it to fit in. And you know, it's a funny thing on how we are forced and how we just go along with it and we don't stand up and say, man, you know what, man, we don't stand up for nothing. You know, it's like, man, you know what, my kids can't take these European combs and scissors and all this European stuff because their hair is not made for it. And every time I try to cut their hair and do all this European stuff to their hair, they're crying and they're uncomfortable. And I don't want to like to see them like that. We don't even stand up for ourselves. We take our kids to the torture. Yeah, but we can see how we do that because we take ourselves to the torture too. You know what I mean? We go to these hair salons and do this and do that to our hair. So no wonder we're doing it to the kids. You know what I mean? Because we grew up like that. You know what I mean? That's just one of the aspects of how we try to fit into a society on a level doing something that's not comfortable for us. And we do it so much instead of standing up and saying, man, I can't do that no more. That day is hurting me. I know my mama raised me up like that. You know what I mean? No, that's what I'm saying. It's Rastafari. Rastafari is the only comfortable seat for black people to sit in and be comfortable in this world. It's only Rastafari because Rastafari, you know, is helping us to be ourselves, our natural God-created self. Let me put it that way. You know, and when you are your natural God-created self, nothing can stop you because God is on your side now because you're more in tune with what He created you to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to do, man. We out of tune with what God created us to be, and we're way in tune with what these Europeans turned us into. We're just too much in tune with that crap, you know? I mean, we have a lot of help, you know what I mean? Because these people they are enforcing their position on us every day. You know, I mean, it's no secret to see what they're doing. You know, it's like if you study your history, you know what I'm saying, and that's what you have to study and get out the Bible, to be honest with you. But if you study your history, we see the first situation out here that we ever had where black folks tried to stand up on our own 2 feet is Haiti. So we see how Haiti ended up. The Haitian Revolution, even though it was successful on a military level, now it couldn't be successful in no other way because it's in the wrong part of the world for that type of success. I mean, the European people follow African people around keeping us down. You know what I'm saying? But out here, it's their world. So, all their world. So, anything black out here is going to get knocked down very easily by their power structure. So, the Haitian Revolution was going to fail not by the will of the Haitian people, because after they won the revolution, that's one thing about European people, you know, all them European countries now get together and decide to make Haiti a bad example for black people. So even though we could look up to the Haitian Revolution as a proud stance for black people, the European power structure is not going to let us be comfortable with that. So now they're going to put, every European country is going to put an embargo on Haiti, and they are who controlling most of the world's wealth. These European countries, they go around the world taking advantage of everybody and bringing all the wealth back to Europe and European countries. So the European countries are always going to band together to protect the money that they're controlling in this world. So they band together and decide they're going to put an embargo on Haiti. And so Haiti is the poorest country because of the embargo. And then, not only that, because the Haiti people chased the Europeans out of the country and they didn't get any compensation for the land that they left behind. Now the Haitian people got to pay compensation to the slave landholding people. So they're paying back the slave landholders that used to have them in slavery, and then they have, on top of that, they have an embargo on top of them. So every little money that Haiti got is going out of the country, or every little financial gain that they can have is not going to the Haitian people. It's going right to Europe, and that's basically the situation in every black country, in every black nation. You know, even all in Africa, even though the colonialism isn't there so much still, the structure of government is still benefiting people, European people, more than it's fitting black people. I mean, you can go to these African countries, and you can go to the Caribbean, and now you could even come to America, for real, and see a black president, a black prime minister, a black this. But all that black minister and black this don't mean nothing, because it doesn't improve black people's life. It doesn't help to improve black people's life, because the structure that the European people left behind is a structure to benefit Europe. And even though we black governor and black president and black, we don't have the power to change none of that. We don't have the power to change none of that. So we can be black this all we want, you know what I mean? The power structure is still a European power structure that they left behind after colonialism and all this ism. You know what I mean? And they can show you that. They can show us better. They could let us have a black president and a black this and a black that. And all that black shit still can't do nothing for black people. Because they're some bad motherfuckers and they got it like that. It's a funny thing, man. And so, you know what I mean? That's why, that's how I'm saying. We trapped. We trapped, man. And we trapped so bad. You know what? We trapped. All in the European language that we speak. We trapped all in the European language that we speak, because when we have to refer to ourselves as black people, that sends a negative subliminal message to our subconscious mind. Because when you look up black in the dictionary, it's everything bad. And that's what we associate ourselves with when we call ourselves black people. When we call our European dominators white people, when you look up in the dictionary, everything white is good. So so when we calling them white people, we're sending our own self a subconscious message of dominance to ourselves, because we you know what I mean? Because when white is associated with everything good, so that's what that's the subconscious message we sending ourselves. Black is associated with everything bad, so that's the subconscious message we're sending ourselves. So even in these European languages, we are trapped sending ourselves negative subconscious messages. Ain't that something? So we really in a trap, because unless we can get back to who we are, we're not going to get out of this trap, because these people put us in it. They know what they were doing. They're more cunning than us. They always have an agenda. You know what I mean? While you think that you just living your life happy, these people always have an agenda to inch themselves forward on your back all the time. So you're in a losing situation, because everything in a society that you have is working against you, and they won't let you have anything that's going to stand for a power base, so that black people could have some place to go. And that's what Marcus Garvey was doing. Marcus Garvey traveled all over South America, Caribbean, and realized black folks, we don't have nothing. We don't have a power structure. We don't have nothing. And that's why he decided, man, black folks do not have a power structure, so I'm going to build one. You know what I mean? That's the heart of Marcus Garvey. So Marcus Garvey started to build one and came out with the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association. And he started to improve the mental situation of black people through this organization. And so the power structure is not going to let a strong black organization strive. So, that's what I'm saying. So they decide whatever, blah, 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 blah. They don't like what Marcus Garvey doing. They set him up. They get rid of Marcus Garvey. They try to disband the UNIA. And then they came up with this NAACP. The European people is who formed this NAACP and gave it to black people. And that's the organization we have, because we cannot have anything that